Hey everybody, it's Perry from BouncerTips, the channel that gives you tips, tricks, and tools to help you become a better bouncer. In today's video, I want to talk about ride-sharing services such as Uber or Lyft and discuss whether their positives outweigh their negatives to a bouncer. Coming up. Now, if you work in the nightclub or festival industry, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you hit that little notification bell so you get notifications of upcoming content. Over the last 5 years, I've seen a lot of changes to the way patrons arrive and leave my club. In the recent past, we used to have taxi cabs lined up in front of my establishment to take passengers home at the end of the evening. Some of these cab companies even offered a promotion that if you drove your car to the establishment and you had too much to drink, they would give you a ride home and they would give you a token so you could use the cab service in the morning to bring you back to the car. But since the rise of Uber and Lyft, there are no more cabs sitting in front of our building. Today I want to look at some of the pros and cons of having these rideshare services at our establishment and whether it's good for business, good for bouncers, and good for club owners. So stay tuned. And if you're an Uber or a Lyft driver, please leave a comment in the comment section below and let me know what your thoughts are after I give you my thoughts on this matter. So here are some of the pros as I see it as a bouncer. The first advantage that I see to having a ride-sharing company such as Uber or Lyft is that people are starting to leave their cars at home, which means that they're not at the end of the night getting in their vehicles and driving home and causing accidents or getting tickets for driving while intoxicated, which is always a good thing. And I think we can all agree that that's a great benefit to what these companies do. The second advantage I see to rideshare is that people are pooling their money together and carpooling to the clubs, which means more people are coming in one carload, and also they have a little bit extra spending money because they pooled their money together to get there, which means they're able to spend more in the club, which I like. The third advantage of rideshare that I can see is that you are only a click away from getting home safely. If you drove to the club, had too much to drink, all you have to be able to do is open up your phone, click that app, and you're on your way home safe without any issues or problems. It also helps that if you had too much to drink, all I need you to do is get your phone open and I can usually help you through the process, and I'm actually really happy to do that, help you get the Uber ordered so we can get you home as safely as possible. Now those are some real positives to Uber and Lyft. However, as a head of security and a head of security at a club that isn't right downtown in the middle of the party district, there are definitely some negatives that I've seen over the years that Uber and Lyft contribute to, and here are some of the following negatives that I see. The first issue that I have with Uber or Lyft is the wait times. Unfortunately, when I'm dealing with a guest and they've had too much to drink, I have to do something with that guest, meaning that I bring the guest outside, end their night, and unfortunately they're in a situation where they're kind of stuck there until Uber or Lyft arrive. And that can be really a big problem for somebody like myself, where I have to kind of keep an eye on what they're doing so they don't walk over to a car or they don't get themselves into trouble or sometimes just walk around the building and pass out. I have to keep kind of an eye and dedicate an eye to all the people that I've kicked out of the club, and that becomes a real problem. Sometimes these waits can be 15-20 minutes, and if I have to keep an eye on somebody for that long, a lot of bad things can happen. The second negative that I can see is that if we have to do some sort of a takedown maneuver to a guest that's being unruly, I have no way to negotiate with them other than call the police. In the past, what I was able to do is if we had to destabilize somebody, take them down to the ground because they were being violent, what I could do is calm them down a little bit and say, hey, we're going to put you in a taxi, just get out of here and we won't have to call the police. Now, with Uber and Lyft, I really don't have that option available to me anymore. If they're being violent, I have to actually call the police department to come deal with the situation because I don't have anywhere to put these people. I can't hold them on the ground. I don't want to hold them on the ground, and I just want them to leave the property. But if they're violent, there's nothing I can really do except get them out of there or call the police. And with Uber and Lyft, I don't have that option available to me like I did with cabs. I could just stick them in a cab and get them on their way and the situation would be resolved. The third negative I see about Uber or Lyft at my establishment is the amount of time at the end of the evening it takes to clear out the parking lot. At the end of the night, I will have 30 or 40 people standing outside my establishment who are in different states of intoxication, and sometimes people get into altercations right outside the club, and that puts me in a very sticky situation. I have to keep extra security on much later in the evening to make sure that fights don't break out in the front of my establishment. And that can be a real problem for smaller establishments that don't have the budget, like I do at my club, to keep extra staff on throughout the evening. Another negative about Uber or Lyft is just the feeling of security that I have. If I have a female guest that's intoxicated that I need to get home and I put her in a stranger's car, I have a real unsteady feeling about putting a female guest into an Uber or a Lyft. I know these people have been vetted. I know they are all good people, but I'm putting them into somebody's car that they do not know. I don't know them. So what I always do is I try to make sure that I take a picture of the license plate and get a description of the driver anytime I put an intoxicated female into a vehicle, just to make sure that if anything does happen, we get the guy. So just to be clear, I am by no means condemning Uber or Lyft. I think they're great services and I use them all the time. However, as a head of security and a manager of a club, there are some issues that they do cause. And I just wanted to bring you aware of some of those things so you can keep an eye out and see if those are some things that are happening at your club. As always, I hope you got a little something out of this video. If you are a Uber or a Lyft driver, please leave a comment in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on this topic. Also, if you really enjoyed the content of this channel, please make sure you crush that like button. It really does help a lot. Please remember to subscribe, make sure you follow me on Twitter, and you've just been taken beyond the ropes. Are you interested in learning more about the nightclub and festival industry? Please make sure you hit that subscribe button right there. If you want to learn more about some of the gadgets that we use, make sure you watch this video right here, and you have a great day.